Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-Un has vowed to build what he calls an invincible military. His comments came during the Self-Defense 2021 exhibition held in the North's capital, Pyongyang, where Mr. Kim added that this weapons development is made for a self-defense reason and not to start a war with the neighbour. Meanwhile, South Korea has recently tested its submarine-launched weapon, further increasing tensions. In his speech, the leader accused the US of fueling animosity between the North and South. At least 9 people have been killed and 16 others are missing in the Philippines as a tropical cyclone named Kompasu caused flooding and landslides. Local media reports more than 2,000 people have been evacuated in several towns as they were battered by pouring rains and winds that toppled trees and knocked down power. Footage showed rescue personnel helping people trapped in the rushing waters get to dry land. With maximum sustained winds of 100 kilometers per hour, the cyclone had absorbed remnants of an earlier cyclone before making landfall. A small aircraft has crashed near San Diego, killing at least 2 people and injuring 2 others, while also destroying several homes. At least 2 homes appeared to have been completely destroyed by an ensuing fire in the city of Santee in California. Pictures show the scene of devastation, with one neighbour describing it as looking like a war zone. This footage from a house doorbell shows the moment the plane came down. Plumes of smoke could be seen from miles away. The C-340 twin-engine plane is thought to have had issues and was trying to land. It was not immediately clear how many people were on board the plane. A report by MPs says the UK's failure to do more to stop COVID spreading early in the pandemic was one of the worst ever public health failures. The government's decisions, backed by scientists, led to a delay in introducing the first lockdown, which cost tens of thousands of lives. But the report highlights successes too, including the vaccination rollout. From the research and development through to the rollout of the jabs, it described the process as one of the most effective initiatives in UK history. The UN Human Rights Office has called for prompt, thorough, impartial and independent investigations into the use of disproportionate force by Libyan authorities against migrants. A UN rights spokeswoman said armed forces in Tripoli began a series of mass arrests a week earlier, detaining more than 4,000 people in overcrowded detention centres. Hundreds of migrants and refugees were waiting outside a United Nations centre in Tripoli on Sunday to seek help in leaving Libya. The migrants say they have faced violent abuse and extortion in a country that has become a major transit point for people seeking to reach Europe. At least 25 people have been killed and many others injured in a bus crash in northwest Nepal, that's according to police. Images published by local media showed the crushed wreckage of an overturned bus. The vehicle was travelling through Mugu district when it left the road shortly after midday. The cause of the crash is unclear, but some reports suggest the bus may have had an issue with its brakes failing. Britain's Prince Charles has called for clean energy and an end to coal-fired plants during a speech given to the COP15 Biodiversity Summit.
To accelerate our efforts further.
In a video message, the second in line to the throne called for polluters to pay more for the carbon they emit. At the same summit, which is officially being held in Kunming, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced the launch of a 1.5 billion yuan fund to support biodiversity protection in developing countries. Footage has been released of a very lucky escape for a patrol officer and driver in Florida. From a police dash cam, it shows a car driver in the middle of the highway speaking to an officer. From nowhere, a sedan car smashes into the parked one. The officer was unharmed, with the driver of the parked car suffering minor injuries. And finally, fishermen and residents in Havana have joined forces to protect manatees, a species of marine fauna that is in a very critical situation. Sighted in several coastal cities in Cuba, the West Indian is a mammal that lives in shallow waters and estuaries. Their slow movements have made them an easy species to be caught by illegal fishermen. Now locals and licensed fishermen have teamed up to report any instances of illegal poaching. Experts consider manatees to be true jewels of marine biodiversity. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.